Hey guys, it's Sebchoof here, your biggest pay-to-winner in Realm of the Mad God. Or am I really? Many people assume since I spend a lot of money for ST items that I got a maxed divine pet, mostly through spending money. The truth is, I got my pet to maxed heal and magic heal for free, so I didn't spend any money. I'm going to show you in this video how you can easily get an 100 divine with no money spent. This video will be split into 3 parts: eggs, fame, and feed. The eggs are the easiest part of your max divine pet. What you will need is 16 eggs of the same family in total, with one having the abilities of heal, magic heal, and electric in that order. You should start off leveling any pet species that has heal as the first ability, and you can change the pet species or other pets into the species of the original pet through the pet yard. You have many opportunities to change your original pet's abilities to the optimal abilities and order through the pet diffusing you must do. So if you haven't found the perfect ability combination by the time you can start leveling your second ability, you should fuse so that your main pet inherits heal and magic heal as the first 2 abilities. Then just pick up all the eggs you see while leveling your main one until you have 16 of the same species and one with the desired abilities. Another thing is, if you do really want to speed up the process with money, upgrading your pet yard and fusing pets is the most efficient way to spend gold on leveling your pet. Fame is probably the aspect that leads players to pay to win or be stuck with bad pets because it is usually hard to gain. Fortunately, there is a really crazy underutilized fame gain strategy that I will explain to you. Basically, all you have to do is stack as many fame bonuses on top of each other as you can while doing high fame gain activities and lasting as long as you can on that character. If you can get every possible fame bonus, it almost multiplies the total fame you get by 10. So you get roughly 1000 fame per lost horse. The reason why you want to last as long as you can is that some of the fame bonuses can be a pain in the ass to get, so every time you die you'll need to get them again. I'll go through all fame bonuses in order of how easy they are to gain, so you know when you should go for them, and some tips to make getting them easier. There are a few bonuses that you must keep straight away. Firstly, Mundane gives a fat 25% fame bonus, so don't use your ability at all during your character's lifetime. What I do is I unbind my ability key through settings whenever I'm playing on my fame character to make sure I don't use it by accident. Secondly, Thirsty is another one that gives 25% fame bonus and is a must-have. You must not drink potions from your inventory, though heal and magic pots from the 6 spade storage is fine. To avoid losing Thirsty, you can actually drink consumables like stat potions off the floor. What you do is, by default, if you hold down shift, anything you press on the floor then becomes consumed, and you lose Thirsty through that way. Thirdly, Boots on Ground is another 25% fame booster. All you have to do is remember not to teleport. It's easy to forget, so drill it into your small brain every time you're about to play on this character. A lot of lost souls you might be doing that could give you a lot of fame might turn into cults, or they might be cults from the beginning, where you have to teleport since people rush from the beginning of the cult to the cult bosses. You can either do 2 things in this stage. You can become a god, like me and NeppyX, and you can learn how to rush cult with no ability or no potions and no teleporting. Or secondly, another thing you can do is you can create another fame character, except this one can teleport. So you can use this one for cults, but it has 25% less fame bonus. Then there's Friends of Cubes that gives 10%. Just don't kill any cubes, it's as easy as that. You should barely be in the realm anyway, so you shouldn't be that crazy. And lastly, out of the easy fame bonuses, we have Sniper, Accurate, and Sharpshooter, which requires you to have over a 75% hit rate. Usually this is a big ask, and you probably won't achieve this by playing normally, but what you can actually do to boost this while you're not at your computer is you can type /tutorial while you're in Nexus, go to the first tower you see shooting from the side, stand in front of it, turn on auto fire, which you can set the key in settings. Those shots that hit the towers count as registered hits. Since you disconnect after every 20 minutes of being away, something you can do is change your inventory tab key to the key that is left of number 1 on your keyboard. And what I do is I put something like my cologne lying on top of that key so that it's always pressed. It will show on your screen that your inventory you're viewing is changing like hundreds of times per minute, and that way you never disconnect while you're away from your computer. so you'll be accuracy farming all that time you got. This is best to do when you're out with your friends or at work or while sleeping. You can also get a 28% fame bonus through the fame bonus well equipped. Equip the highest fame bonus items you have so that when you die you get more fame. Though I do preferably recommend you to wear more defensive items so that your character lasts longer, so you end up getting more dead fame as a result. So those were the easiest fame bonuses that you can have from the very beginning of your character. This second group you will get automatically if you leave long enough. Explorer and Cartographer will give you 20% in total when you explore enough tiles. So basically keep doing Lost Halls, you'll get this eventually. Doer of Deeds will give you 10% fame bonus when you kill 1,000 bosses, so you'll also get this eventually. Then you can also get Firstborn if this character ends up being your highest dead fame character. This third group of fame bonuses requires you to go way out of your way. Some can actually be a pain in the ass. I'll order these from easiest to hardest, and the base fame I recommend you having before you go for these fame bonuses so that you don't achieve insanely difficult fame bonuses and then die really early. If you only have 10 fame and you have a 10 times multiplier, it barely helps at all. Slayer and Enemy of God requires you to have over 50% of your kills being God kills, so try not to last hit enemies when you're in Lost Halls or other dungeons. During this character's lifetime, you may have to walk to Godlands and spend an hour or more just killing gods to bring up the God kill percentage. If you need 1,000 God kills in order to get Slayer of Gods, I recommend only doing this if you have at least 5k base fame. Try not to kill Sprite Stars while you're farming because they will count against God kills. Tunnel Rat requires you to leave the exit portal of the following dungeons: Pirate Cave, Spider Den, Forbidden Jungle, Snake Pit, Sprite World, Undead Lair, Abyss of Demons, Tomb of the Ancients, Ocean Trench, and Manor of the Immortals. This can be a massive mission because of boots on ground. You have to find a dungeon, unless you have the key. Then you have to walk to the end, which your friends can't help you too much about, and then you have to leave the exit portal. I only recommend you working towards this when you have 10k base fame, unless you find one of the dungeons on the way between doing things, and it's really easy to finish that one. Oryx Slayer requires you to get the last hit on either Oryx 1, Oryx 2, or Oryx from Battle for the Nexus. You can either swap to your fame character just before the realm goes into Oryx Castle and try to snipe the last shot to kill the Oryx, or you can get a friend to help you clear a realm and do an Oryx where he or she helps you get the last kill. I only recommend you doing this at 10k base fame because it is a pain. Then there's also the toughest of all, Team Leader and Leader of Men. These are so disgusting. They require you to help others get 1,000 level up, where you have to get the killing shot on enemies that levels up surrounding players. You can do this with friends in Godlands, but it requires you to walk the distance to Godlands and takes many hours in total to get the 1,000 level ups, even if you have several friends helping you. Or you can do this in a D-Docs, where you get a level 1 friend to wait in the spawn room, and while you create a one-tile passage through the wall, and then drag minions to the wall where the enemies aren't able to come through, but it allows you to kill them at the range that your friends still get XP, and that way they level up. This will also require you to pop many dead water docks, and it will require you to probably farm a lot of gods in the future. So honestly, I don't recommend you doing this fame bonus until you have at least 50,000 base fame, because it's that much of a pain. And this is really important, guys. Make sure, if you really want to pay to win your pet, it's so inefficient to spend gold instead of fame. So try to first fuse your pets or level up your pet yard with gold. Or secondly, buy feed with gold. But then if you still have spare money, whatever, man, just feed your pet by using gold instead of fame. Speaking of feed, the third and final part of the video is where to source your feed from and the best way to use it. Depending on how much vault space you have, you can store all of your feed power items and use it when it's most efficient. My recommendations for what feed power items you should be using at what pet level are: for common rarity, use feed power under 150. For uncommon rarity, use items between 150 and 300 feed power. For rare, use items between 300 and 500 feed power. for legendary pets, use items between 500 and 650 feed power. And lastly, for divine pets, use items that are 650 feed power and over. If you're running out of space in your vaults to store your items, feel free to use them early and try to save the highest feed power items till last. Now for the source of the feed power items, the best way to get them by far is by doing chest events. I leveled my pets so quickly because of old deco events, but they have gotten a lot stingier with the drops. However, they're still the best way to get feed power, so make sure to abuse when you find one that's really efficient. And since chest events are farmed efficiently via discords, it might be best to save your loot potions for ones that you feel like are really generous when it comes to feed power. The best options outside of chest events would include the following: endgame dungeons like Lost Halls, Nests, Fungal and Crystal Caverns, because the whites and ST items have a high feed power, and you will be most likely farming these anyway, so the feed power that you can get from the items that drop is a nice side bonus. These can also drop a lot of life pots and tops, so I'll let you know soon how you can use spare wealth to get even more feed power. If for whatever reason you can't do those endgame dungeons, because I know sometimes you have to wait for the discords to run them, you can do Sprite Worlds, Manor of the Immortals, Tombs of the Ancients, Ocean Trench, Mad Labs, and Cursed Libraries. They're pretty efficient as well. Since you're playing safe and avoiding dying, another way you can get feed power is with the excess funds you're getting from the endgame dungeons that I was talking about and the chest events. What you can do is you can trade excess resources for wine cellar incantations, tradable ST rings, like the one that drops from Cemetery, and treasures, since they all give decent feed power. You can trade for these at US West 2 Nexus. There's people trading there, or even better, set up trades on Realmeye, or check if people are selling them on Realmeye. Though the feed power you get from tradable feed power items don't compare at all to the items that you can get from chest events and endgame dungeons. So try to save the drops from endgame dungeons and chest events for when your pet is higher level if possible. Also, make sure to max your abilities before fusing, except at legendary, when both your legendary pets are 90 heal and 90 magic heal. So